I am the director of the company WHIEDA. I've been with the company for 2 years now, and I believe I'm using the marketing plan quite effectively. You can also evaluate this today. But once again, today I will share not only how the marketing plan looks, as you might know it, but I will also share my vision, why I do it this way, or I give some recommendations on how to use certain tools like partner placement, WhatsApp, so that you, just like many leaders, can build our business as effectively as possible and accordingly earn money from it. So, as many of you probably already know, I am aware that there might be newcomers on this Zoom who are not yet familiar with our company. For you, this will be your very first presentation. It might happen that today, as I explain all this, your head might start to spin a little, as they say, right? That is, there are a lot of numbers, a lot of information. No worries. We will have a recording for this. You can always rewatch it later and ask any questions to your partner who invited you to this presentation or this business, or who sent you this video recording. Perhaps you are watching it as a recording and will then understand it in more detail. So look, where does our business start? It starts with us activating some kind of contract, right? We have 3 of them, 3 starter packages. And the first question I usually get asked is, Ilnur, please tell me, how much does it cost to enter your business? What are the investments? What contributions need to be made? And so on. And the first thing I do is I respond by asking people 3 questions as well. I will ask you the first question as well. If your answer to my question is positive, put a plus. If negative, put a minus. The first question I ask you guys, please tell me, who among you brushed your teeth today? Got up in the morning, went to brush your teeth, or someone woke up at noon and went to brush their teeth? Do we have such people in our chat? Good. If not, then put a minus accordingly. And the second question I will ask you, who among you has had at least 1 cup of tea or coffee today? Well, maybe your favorite drink. Yes? If that's the case again, please put a plus. I will ask you one more question. My friends, I will probably address the ladies now. Please tell me, who among you uses feminine hygiene products, cosmetics, and so on? If the answer is yes, you will most likely put a plus again. If not, then you put a minus. This is for the female half, okay? So I understand that we use all these products one way or another every day. We can't really imagine our lives without them. Therefore, essentially, I can tell a person, listen, for you, this business is basically free. Why do I say that? Because the person in their life doesn't change anything. That is, if before yesterday he went to some store like, I don't know, Piataroshka, Magnum, or some familiar grocery stores buying toothpaste, tea, coffee, whatever we usually buy for ourselves every day. Today, he simply has the opportunity to buy the same products that he uses every day, say cook, but with a health benefit of very good quality on just a different platform. In other words, essentially, a person is simply switching from a regular store to an online platform with cool, awesome products, yes, with a wide range. And that's it? Yes, that's it. He doesn't invest anywhere. I can't call it an investment, because if any of you bought a carton of milk or a loaf of bread today and ate it in the evening in the kitchen, sit down, you don't say, oh, how bad. I invested money in a carton of milk and now it's gone. No, you bought a product, you use it. The same thing happens in our company. That is, we have 3 types of starter packages. One of them, we call it the client package. Today, we will talk about all the packages, guys. The first starter package is called client, or start. Let's call it start after all. Start is when a partner or a new client buys products for themselves worth 250 PV, right? Or in dollars, it might be a slightly different amount, from $250 to, I don't know, 300, 270, depending on the products you choose. But it's important to accumulate exactly 250 points. This is the first package. The second package in our company is called standard. Standard is when a partner purchases products for themselves worth 500 PV, that is 500 points. This could be $500, $550, $650. Again, it depends on the products you choose. And the maximum package available in the company is called premium. This is when a new partner purchases products for themselves worth 2,000 PV or points and so on. Again, the amount in dollars may vary out and so on. There is some gradation between these packages. Yes, there are differences. The first thing I want to say here is that with any of these packages, you can choose absolutely any product you like. That is, no one tells you, let's take this because the second one to calculate, or only this one needs to be taken. No. The entire range, the company's catalog, is immediately available to you, and you simply choose from the company's catalog exactly the products you would like to have at home that you use, or if you would like to address some health issues, please, you select all of this from the entire range. The first thing that distinguishes these packages from each other is the daily income limit. That is, we have two types of rewards, and we will also talk about them today. If a partner has a start package for 250 PV, then their limit on the daily, the type of reward, meaning in one day, they cannot receive more than $250 from the two types of rewards. We will return to them shortly. The next difference, the standard package, it differs in that your limit is already $500 per day. The day is counted according to Moscow time, meaning from 12 o'clock Moscow time to 12 o'clock the next day accordingly. The limit resets, and with the maximum package of 2,000 points, your limit on the daily type of reward from the two incomes is accordingly $2,000. Good. The news is that you can switch between these packages at any time, meaning you can do a so-called upgrade. For example, I started with the 500 package, and I don't know, after a week or maybe 2 weeks, decided that the premium package is actually the most interesting for business, and many partners choose this package from a business perspective. Now, here you can do the same, make an upgrade, meaning simply purchase additional products for the missing $1,500. So I started, for example, by buying products for $500, 500 points, and after some time realized that I want to have an upgraded package. Yes, I want to increase my limit, increase the amount of rewards. I simply cover the difference for the missing package. So in this case, between 500 and 2,000, I purchase products for $1,500, and my package instantly becomes premium. And basically, all these three packages, they give us access so that we can receive our respective money through three types of rewards. And let's directly move on to them. So the first type of reward we have is called a step. This is probably one of the most favorite types of rewards for most new, at least, partners. And the step in the company equals 50%. No, let me also point out right away that the marketing plan is hybrid, consisting of several parts. It includes both a binary part and a classic part. And each partner is duplicated both in the first and in the second tree. And the step marketing, that is step rewards, we receive based on our binary by referral tree. Let me draw for you what a binary is. Binary comes from the word bi, meaning two. That's the, you have a personal account, an account. And according to this type of reward, every time you have new partners appearing on the left and right sides, you receive 50% of the cost of the smallest package in that pair. Let's look at examples. Suppose in the left side, that is in our left team, a new partner appeared, for example, and registered for $500. The same thing happened on the right. That is, I called my friend Vasya and said, listen, Vasya, there's a great business. There are great products. You can use them. And he says, Ilnur, listen, I'm interested in this. And let's say he also registered for a contract worth 500 points. At this time, since we have one new person on the left and one new person on the right, the company sees this, meaning the system notices it, and immediately the first type of reward is triggered. This is a step, and we receive 50%, of the cost of the smallest package in the pair. But since they are the same with $500 on the left and right, we receive 50% of $500, which is $200 back, and $50 to your account. This reward is credited online, so you don't have to wait until the end of the month, the start of a new period, week, and so on. That is, as soon as new partners appear on your left and right, you log into your personal account, and what do you see there? Look, 50% is immediately credited. Many partners really like this because earning here and now is very cool. Next, what happens here? The $250 are divided in a ratio of 80% to 20, where 80%, that is, $200 are your real money. You can withdraw them, spend on a product, or buy something else for yourself. And 20% is $50. In this case, but since they are credited to your personal account in your personal cabinet, which is called cashback. Now, so what is cashback for? We will discuss a bit further. And this will happen with all payments for step rewards. let's consider the next example. Suppose further on, at the second level, you have a contract on the left for $2,000 and on the right, a person registered. And for example, also for $2,000. What happens? The same thing happens. That is, again, the system sees that a new level has opened for you. On the new level, a new pair of partners appeared. Accordingly, the system pays you 50% of the package cost in the pair, but now accordingly from 2,000. So we enter into your personal account through how much has been credited there. $1,000. Understandable, right? Why 1,000? That is 50% of 2,000%. And the same thing, they will be divided in a proportion of 80 to 20, where 80%, that is $800 are your actual money, and $200 will come to your cashback account. What other situation might occur here? Let's also analyze that. Suppose it could happen that you have different packages on the left and right. Yes, of course it can happen. Let's say on the left side, a partner registered for a $500 package. And on the right side, a partner registered for a package, for example, of $2,000. The same thing happens. The step is triggered because you have reached a new level. At the new level, you have a new pair of partners. You receive 50%, but in this case, you receive 50% of the smallest package in the pair, that is from $500. So the step reward will come in the amount of $250 accordingly. And someone might say, darn, why is that? Why not from the larger amount? But here there is one sort of not exactly a trick. There is one condition, yes, to receive the missing $750. And in what case will they be paid? When this person goes, I don't know, in a week, a month, 6 months, or a year, upgrades themselves and advances to a contract of 2,000 points, that is to the premium package, the system will see that it has already given you a step with $500. But now the person has upgraded to 2,000. And as soon as this person becomes premium with us, that is a 2,000 level, the system will additionally credit you the difference in the step, which is $750 accordingly. It doesn't matter when the person upgrades. Yes, the company has no limits on when a person can upgrade, whether it's within a month or 2 months, it doesn't matter. In 6 months, even tomorrow, or in a year, you can upgrade your contract at any time. The second scenario where you can receive this difference of $750 is if the person never upgrades. Or perhaps it's a client who bought the product and in principle is not interested in anything else, doesn't plan to engage in business. Could that be the case? Of course, it could be. In this case, if, for example, this person registers someone in their team with a contract for $2,000, that is, at this level. On the contrary, a contract from another person will appear on the left side for $2,000. The system will also see this and will pay you accordingly. $750. This difference. So once again, understand how the step reward works. A step is every time a new level, a new generation opens up for you. That is the first generation, second, third, fourth, and so on. Every time a new level appears, a new pair of partners, one on the left, one on the right, you receive 50% of the package cost of the smallest package in this pair. Right? And accordingly, when a person makes an upgrade, increases their package, the company pays you this difference if the package was exercised and accordingly generally increased. At the same time, it doesn't matter at what depth these are registered. These partners, that is, there is no depth limitation here. It could be the 5th generation, the 10th, the 100th, it doesn't matter at all. All you need to understand here is that every time on the left and right, the new pair of partners appears at a new level, you receive 50% of the reward amount. This is easy to record, easy to check. You can log into your personal account, open the transaction history, and see from which specific package, yes, the login is indicated there, you received a particular reward. Everything is completely transparent here. So, okay, this is the first type of reward. I think it is unlikely to cause you questions. In principle, it is quite simple and understandable. The second type of reward, again, it doesn't matter if you have extras on the left, extras on the right. It doesn't matter at all, whether you know them, these people, or not, in which city, in which country they live. The very fact, on the left, on the right, at a new level, 50% will be credited to you. And the second type of reward, let's move on. This is a type of reward called binary in the company. In the company, binary. It equals 10% of the turnover of the smallest country. What does this mean? We understand that people come to us. Some of them are clients. Some of them, just like us, will be engaged in business. that is recommending this product, talking about this business. And let's say these people, they also have their own left and right. They can also earn steps, register, partners, new participants, clients, and so on. And what does the binary tell us? It tells us that every time we have any turnover from partners who do not participate in step rewards, that is, look, for example, this person, we have already been paid steps from them, right? Accordingly, there are other partners at this level. And from these other partners, from this turnover, the company will pay us 10% from the turnover of the smallest country. What am I talking about? Let's say we have a contract here for 2,000 here, for example, for 500 here, for example, again for 500. So the turnover of the left side is 3,000 points, right? On the right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 contracts. Let's assume they are all for $500 each. Accordingly, the turnover of the right side is 2,000 points. Therefore, the company will pay us 10% from the turnover of the smallest country. So in this case, the entire right turnover of the right team is 2,000 points. Accordingly, I log into my personal account there. 10% of it 2,000 will be credited, which is $200. And it also instantly comes to my account. And they, following the same logic as the step rewards, are divided in a ratio of 80 to 20, where 80% is cash and 20% is accordingly money that goes to your personal account as cashback. Once again, about cashback, I will explain a bit later why you need it and how it is formed. So what is important to understand here, that it doesn't matter for some reason. They say that, for example, the binary is paid out when partners on the left and right must be at the same level. This has no significance. Here we only look at the total turnover of the left team and the right team. So there is no need for them to be exactly aligned on the line. This has no significance for the payment of binary rewards. Here the referral tree simply looks for the turnover of the left side and the right side. And if, for example, the turnover on the left is less and some registration occurs there, we also receive a reward from this registration. What should be noted here, that these rewards also come in real time online. That is, some turnover has occurred, and at your depth, a new client, a new partner bought something for themselves, and you log into your personal account. Where is the money already? Correct, in the account. The same as with step rewards, there is no depth limitation here. It doesn't matter at what depth a new partner appears, the 100th, 200th generation who brought them in, or which country they are in Russia, in Europe, in Kazakhstan, where they live, it doesn't matter at all. The very fact of these partners appearing in your recommendation tree, referral tree, accordingly indicates that the company will pay you a reward according to the turnover and on what should also be noted here is that the amount of these rewards, steps and binary cannot exceed this ceiling, right? That is, if a partner has a package for 250 PV, then the company will not credit them more than $250 per day. And if a partner has a package for 500 PV, accordingly, the company will not credit them more than $500 per day. And the maximum package is $2,000, which means you have a daily reward limit of $2,000 on your account. Accordingly, what else, like what nuance is there? When you see that you have, let's say, an approaching or ongoing registration, and you see that, for example, today is your day, and you've already earned, I don't know, like $500 or $300, then it makes sense to consider. Maybe it makes sense for me to upgrade today. Yes, to upgrade to the next package, to the premium one, for example, right? In order not to miss out on these rewards. So if you, for instance, let's analyze such a situation. This partner is on a package, $500. And he had a registration on the left for 2,000 and on the right for 2,000, or someone made upgrades, then the company will pay him only $500, right? Although it should have paid, well, a whole 1,000. But since the partner has a daily payout limit, and accordingly, he will receive only $500 and the remaining $500. The partners simply won't earn. They will not be paid tomorrow or when he eventually makes an upgrade. It doesn't work that way. So you need to monitor everything in real time. If you see that your turnover, your income is approaching $500, for example, then it makes sense to consider making the appropriate upgrades in your accounts to avoid losing money. Okay, this is how the binary tree works. In the binary tree, we receive two types of rewards. The first is the step, 50% from the smallest package in the pair at each new level. the binary is 10% from the turnover of the weaker side. It doesn't matter whether it's on the left or right. These legs can change. For example, today, your left side might be shorter in terms of turnover, and a week later, your right side might be shorter or have less turnover. Yes, it all changes dynamically. But again, in your personal dashboard, you can see all this information online. By viewing, there are corresponding sections, columns, buttons. By clicking, on which you get all the necessary information to avoid losing extra money. Okay? The third type of company reward is called the repeat purchase. Repeat purchases. So let me write it like this. Bonus. Repeat purchases. And here, what are we talking about? That is, every time your clients or your partners make repeat purchases, they do so with a discount. So look, what's the logic here? When I register with the company, I buy the entire product at 100% of the retail price. And when I, for example, register for $500, I don't know, for $650, for $200, for $2,000, any amount I spent, the company immediately returns 100% of the spent money as cashback. And additionally, as I say, our cashback accumulates as part of the income from step and binary rewards. Yes, those 20%. And when I am already a partner of the company, I can make repeat purchases from the catalog and do this with a discount from 20 to 50%, paying for these goods with the accumulated cashback. So first, where does the cashback come from? It basta. Upon registration, 100% of the spent amount is returned to you by the company to your cashback account. Additionally, a part of the income is also constantly formed in your cashback account. And imagine the scenario. So you are building your business, you receive step rewards, binary rewards, and you have a customer base being formed. And these customers can purchase various products at a discount. And imagine what the company is saying here is that every time your partners or your customers make repeat purchases, that is, they do it at a discount, the company pays you a total of 5% from the entire monthly turnover. If the partner has a client package, yes, that is for 250. PV, the company pays 5% from 3 generations. If the partner has a package for 500 PV, the company pays 5% from 5 generations. If the partner has the maximum premium package, the company pays them the same 5%. Oh my goodness, what am I saying? It's not 5%, but from 6 generations, friends. I made a mistake, not from 5, but from 6 generations. If the partner has a package for $2,000, the company pays them 5%, but now from 9 generations. How does this look physically? So I'm saying that we have a marketing plan. It's hybrid. It consists of 2 parts. So your partners, they take their place in the binary tree, right? So you place them yourself, deciding where each one should stand. And additionally, they are also duplicated in your classic tree. So what is a classic tree? There is you and you have partners in the first line. That is the first line. These are the partners that I personally invited. The first line is not limited. It can be 10 people, 100, 1,000. It doesn't matter. And our clients and partners also have their own partners. Yes, for me, this is the first generation. This is the second. For me, it's the 3rd generation, the 4th, and so on, right? And accordingly, up to the 9th generation, I can receive bonuses from these repeat purchases. Let me give an example. For instance, let's say somewhere in the 9th generation, a person bought, I don't know, a product with a discount of $100, right? And the company from these $100 gives 5% up to 9 generations above, meaning 9 active partners above will receive accordingly 5% each, which is $5 each. And in total, for the entire month, the company calculates this system. How many repeat purchases were made in your partner network? And each 29th, you wake up in the morning, well, sometimes, depending on the time zone, for some it might be by noon, and every 29th, these bonuses, they are credited to your account accordingly. The money is received monthly, right? That is, if steps and binaries are the money that comes instantly, then the repeat purchase bonus is calculated once a month based on the total turnover, 5%. What is the nuance here? In order to receive the repeat purchase bonus, if you are on the 500 or 250 package PV, you need to have a monthly activity of 30 PV, right? So what's the logic here? If you want to receive bonuses from the repeat purchases of your network, you should also make some purchases yourself. Now, Yes, accordingly, if I have done 30 PV activity this month, then I will receive 5%. In this case, depending on the package I am on, for how many generations I am entitled to. Yes, from all repeat purchases. If a partner has a package for 2,000 points, then currently, as we have had a promotion from the company for 2 years now, no activity is required on this package. That is, it doesn't matter whether you made a purchase this month or not. The bonus from repeat purchases will be credited to you in any case, But again, just looking at the physical picture, yes, from practice, I see that partners buy something every month, but really the company's assortment is conducive. There are a lot of materials. We call them consumables, one way or another, like coffee, tea, toothpaste, hygiene items. We buy them every day. Anyway, so buying for 30 points each month is also not a problem. At the same time, no activity is required in order to receive steps and binary rewards. It's not required. That is, it doesn't matter whether you made a purchase this month or not. Yes, one way or another, you will receive all steps and binary rewards from the company. So these are the 3 basic types of rewards that are given absolutely to any client and partner as soon as they register with the company and purchase a product on a particular package. Okay. Next, I hope here it's more or less clear. If you have any questions, write them down somewhere, and later we will have a Q&A session. I will return to this and we will go over it all again. So once again, this basic part is already available to absolutely everyone. And next, we will look at the career ladder. That is the company. It did not stop there. And the marketing plan does not end there either. There is another very interesting part, leadership qualifications. And the company says that if you are an active partner, developing this business, actively building your team network, then the company additionally pays you a number of rewards depending on the turnover you create. And let's move on to the next page. And I will tell you about the qualifications in question. That is, the company has 6 qualifications. The first qualification is called director. The second qualification is called regional director. The third qualification that the company can achieve is called national director. National director. The fourth qualification is international director. The fifth qualification is continental director. And the sixth is the maximum qualification that can be achieved at the end of 1 month. This qualification is called world director. And let's also look at what this is about, what rewards can be received at these qualifications, respectively. So, what is being discussed here? First, in order to close the qualification as a director, you need to achieve a turnover of 5,000 PV from one country and 5,000 PV from another country. Let me write the first qualification with zeros. From now on, we'll do it without zeros. So I'll write 5K and so on. That is $5,000 from one side and $5,000 from the other side. What is this about? And why have some sides appeared? What are we talking about here? Let's figure it out. So let's return to your classic tree. In your classic tree, there is a certain number of partners. Let me remind you, it is unlimited. Your partners have their own partners and so on. And what does the first number 5 mean? It means that there is one partner, for example. Let's take the first one. And he, along with his entire team, made $5,000 in turnover in a month. What does the second number 5 mean? It means that we have all the other teams, and in total, all these teams also made $5,000 in turnover in a month, right? So in this way, we have 5 by 5, meaning 5, one of the strongest branches, and 5 in total should be made by all the other teams. In this case, it doesn't matter at all how they are positioned in the binary. It can even be in one branch. What matters is that in the classic tree, this is for you. These are different branches, different partners. The first qualification is director, 5,000 by 5. And here, the company, every time you achieve this qualification, confirms it. It additionally starts paying you $100 to an internal travel account. And let me immediately outline the second qualification, because the rewards are similar. Regional director, here with a turnover of 10,000, removing the zeros, writing 10K. This means 10,000. 10,000 from one team, 10,000 from all the others. Here the company starts paying you $200 every month to a travel account every month. This travel account is a separate account in your personal cabinet. This money cannot be withdrawn or spent on whatever you want. The company organizes trips abroad up to twice a year, and you can thus accumulate a certain amount in the travel fund, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, and go with us on the next trip. Well, for example, we've already been, oh my, where haven't we been? We've flown to the Emirates, Thailand. We've been to China and Turkey several times as well. Yes, it's a crazy journey. The last time we were in China with a group of 600 people from our Eurasian region. And many partners flew absolutely for free because they have enough in their travel fund account. They fly and travel completely free of charge, right? So you simply achieve the qualification and accumulate these points. There is sometimes a question, for example, what happens with a partner if I achieve the director qualification this month, but not the next month? No problem. No one will take away your rank, but you won't be paid the $100 in the month you didn't achieve it. That is, the reward is paid in the month when the conditions for the respective qualification were actually met. The next qualification is International Director. It is awarded when you achieve a turnover of 30,000 on one side, well, in one branch, and 30,000 PV in total across all other branches. Here, in addition to paying you $200, the company also opens another account in your office called the Auto Bonus account, and the company starts paying you an additional $500 each month for the car program. This money can already be withdrawn and spent on anything you like. But the logic implies that, let's say, this is already an active partner at the National Director qualification. Yes. And many people would like, I don't know, some to buy their first car, some to replace theirs, and some to buy a new model. So you can either save up for a car this way, or you can take a loan or lease and use this money, yes, to service the corresponding loan for your car. And many partners drive their personal cars. Well, for example, I have my own car. I don't plan to change it yet. But the company still pays me $500 every month. It's all okay. Today, I don't worry about how much gasoline costs, the maintenance of my car, winter or summer tires. What's the difference? The company paid for everything. That is, the company pays you $500 every month for the car program. This money can already be withdrawn and spent at your discretion. And the company pays you $200 in the form of a travel fund. It accumulates for you, and when the company announces any trips, you can accordingly go on that trip using the accumulated travel account in your personal account. All right, let's move on. Next, we have 3 qualifications. This is the qualification of an international director when we create a turnover of 50,000 PV from one branch and 50,000 respectively PV in all other teams. Let me probably list all the other qualifications right away because the rewards are very similar. A continental director is when you generate a turnover of $100,000, 100,000 PV on one side and 100,000 PV respectively on the other side. A world director is when you generate a turnover of 200,000 with a strong team and 200,000 PV respectively from all other teams combined. What does the company offer to these partners? That is, the company has, well, a division of certain regions. In other words, the company operates worldwide. There is a large team working in China, Malaysia, Africa, and there is a separate part of the business for the company, the CIS market, the European market, Turkey. Yes, that's what is more or less familiar to us. South Korea is also included here. And the company takes 1% of the total turnover in the Eurasian region every month. Well, let's take some numbers out. I don't know. Suppose the company made $5 million in turnover in a month. Well, let's say, for the sake of round numbers, to make it easier for me to calculate, the company made $10 million in turnover in the Eurasian market. That is 1 million in Russia, 2 million in Kazakhstan, 3 million across Europe, and so on and so on. And in total, the company made $10 million in turnover in the Eurasian region. The company takes 1% of this amount, which means 1% of 10 million is $100,000. The company takes these $100,000 and distributes them among all the partners who qualified. This month, for the International Director, Continental, or World Director qualification. Let's break this down again with an example. Suppose we had, let's say, 20 international directors this month. Don't get attached to the numbers. I'm just making them up for simplicity. So 20 people we have a fund of $100,000, and $100,000 will be divided among 20 people. Accordingly, each of them will receive an additional bonus of $5,000 this month. Understood. What other important function does marketing have here? Every time you achieve the highest qualification, you receive all the previous bonuses. That means the company, in this case, will pay international directors $5,000. The company will pay him $500 for the car program, and the company will also credit him with $200 as a travel fund. I think it's clear here. Next, we also have the qualification of continental directors, and for example, last month there were about 10 of them. Accordingly, we have the same, a fund of $100,000, and $100,000 will be divided among 10 people. So each of them receives an additional bonus this month, having worked well, $10,000. To everyone who qualified in the company as a continental director. But what is the function here again? The person also receives all previous bonuses. Accordingly, the continental director will receive $10,000 for their qualification. They will receive $5,000 because they exceeded the qualification of an international director. They will be credited $500 as part of the car program and an additional $200 as part of the travel fund. And the third point is the world director. Let's say last month there were conditionally 5 people. Then the company will divide $100,000 but among 5 people. That means each of them will receive an additional bonus of $20,000. And in the same manner, yes, the world director will receive $20,000. They will be credited $10,000 plus an additional 5 plus 500 and plus 200. Yes. So the higher your qualification, the company also pays you all the preceding bonuses because you have, as it were, yes, already passed these thresholds and climbed higher in your career. The only option, well, I don't know, let's probably discuss it here as well. The 1% of world directors is divided a bit unevenly. Let's also break it down here. How does it work? So the world directors, this is the highest qualification that can be achieved precisely by the end of the month. And the company here, this 1%, which is $100,000, is actually divided among the directors, not in equal proportions, because a system, a point system is already in place. What am I talking about? So as soon as world directors close 200,000 on 200,000, they are assigned, directly 2 points for that month, right? And there is, for example, a world director who has done, say, 300,000 on one side and 300,000 on the other side. Such a partner will receive 3 points. If a partner has done, say, 400,000 on one side and 400,000 from all other branches, they are assigned 4 points. That is for every subsequent 100,000. PV, the partner is awarded 1 point. And at the end of the month, when this 1% division occurs, that is at the qualifications of international director and continental director, everyone divides 1% equally among the number of participants. For world directors, a point system is activated. Here, depending on how many points are accumulated by the end, you have earned, the company allocates $50,000. Yes, if we delve into the details, but it might be interesting. Not $50,000 will be divided equally. If there were 5 people, then 50,000 will be divided by 5, giving each 10,000. The second $50,000 will be divided based on the point system. For example, one partner might have 2 points this month, another might have 3, and another 4. The company will sum up all the points. Suppose there were 10 points in total, 50,000 will be divided by 10, meaning for each point, the partner will receive $5,000. And depending on how many points you have accumulated, you will receive the corresponding reward, right? Well, you can get into the details or not, but since today is kind of a training session, this will be useful for many. So once again, the amount for the world directors is divided. 50,000 on one side, 50 on the other. 50,000 will be evenly divided. Yes, equally among all partners, and 50,000 will be divided according to the point system, where for every 100,000 exceeding the world director's turnover, you receive an additional point. And the more points you collect by the end of the month, your bonus will differ slightly among all the leaders. Yes, it might be a little more, it might be a little less. And the next point. What else might be interesting here? These are the 6 qualifications that we can achieve by the end of one specific month. There are also 2 qualifications that are accumulated over the entire period of a partner's work. Let's illustrate them as well. The 7th qualification It is called Global Director. This is when you have a turnover of 10 million PV from one branch and accordingly 10 million PV from all other branches combined. This is no longer counted per month. It is not counted per year. It is counted cumulatively over the entire period of your work. That is, someone might achieve this in 3 years. Someone else might do it in 5 years. So in 5 years, they closed it, reached this qualification. And the qualification is also assigned to you. And I'll immediately outline the 8th and then talk about the rewards at these qualifications. The 8th qualification is called Ambassador. Ambassador. And here, in order to achieve the Ambassador qualification, you need to have a global director in one branch, and in another branch, you must also have developed one leader at the qualification of a global director. What does the company offer here? Here, the company gives back 0.5% from the global turnover for the entire year. That is if here. For example, the company forms this pool based on the turnover in the Eurasian region, right? Not considering China, Africa, Malaysia, and so on. The company already includes the turnover from China, Malaysia, and so on. I want to say that in China alone, the turnover each month is several tens of millions of dollars. There is something to divide there. And the company takes the total global turnover for the entire year. And among all the partners who well, not for the year, but in the current year have achieved the qualification, it takes the 0.5%, and this amount is divided among all the partners. And here, the division of these 0.5% happens in the same way. That is 50% of this formed pool. I don't know how many more. In our company, there are neither global directors nor ambassadors yet. And it's difficult for me to talk about any figures. Yes, but let's say there is some amount of this bonus. I don't know, maybe $1 million, maybe 2, I don't know. And the company takes 50% of this fund, which needs to be divided among all participants. 50% will be divided equally among everyone. Yes, just like it was with the world directors. And 50% accordingly will be divided in the same way as with the world directors, based on the point system. So it's the same here. Every time, let's say you achieved global director status, I don't know, in July, right? Then every subsequent month, every 100,000 PV of side turnover gives you the opportunity to earn 1 point. So over the entire year, you earn a certain number of points, like 3, 5, 10, or someone might earn 20. And based on the number of points you earned by the end of the year, the company calculates in January and awards this annual bonus in February based on the number of ASHO's points and partners who achieve these qualifications. Once again, the qualification for global director is 10 million cumulatively over the entire period. The qualification for ambassador requires having 2 global directors in different branches. Yes, and in this case, you start accumulating points. How many points did you accumulate over the year? Accordingly, based on this amount, you will then, at the end, in beginning of the next year, divide and receive a huge bonus along with all the partners who participated in these qualifications. Okay. So next, let's see what we will do together. I just explained the basic part about marketing, talked about the qualification. Next, we have another part about working with the golden triangle. Yes, that is where I will share some tips on how to better interact with the marketing plan and so on. Here for now, let's make it possible to ask questions. So guys, if you have a question, you can raise your hand. And yes, ask it verbally. I will turn on your microphone, or you can formulate your question and write it in the chat. I saw that there are messages here. I'll take a look. If there are any clear, logical questions, I will answer them. Yes, so now we'll take a pause, answer questions, and then move on to the second part where I will share my personal experience on how best to interact with the marketing plan. So I missed the beginning. Sorry, please review the recordings if you missed it. So guys, I have a big request. Please ask questions related to marketing. Yes, that is concerning marketing. If you missed the beginning, I respect the time of those who arrived on time so they don't have to listen to it again. So I see that we have a raised hand. I will make you a co-host now. You can eat, I'm afraid just the inflection, I might stress it incorrectly, Yurenko, right? Can you turn on the microphone and ask your question? I hope I will answer it. Well, not hope, I will answer it 100%.
Ilnur, greetings, Igor. So tell me, how are generations counted when calculating the repeat purchase bonus? Is it only the first line generation?
Okay. Look, let's go back here to a clean spot and simply draw it out. Look, there's you, and now we're talking. So what is the question about? Here is our generation, or rather our first line. Our first line has its own first line, yes, and so on. In a binary tree, in your tree, partners appear whom you might not even know. Why? Because, for example, I registered 2 partners. Let me go down here. I registered 2 partners, one here, and I got a 3rd person. Logically, I can place them either to the left or to the right, somewhere deeper into my team, right? That's why there are partners here whom you don't know. But when we take a classic tree, partners from your higher level curators or sponsors cannot end up here. So we only take the referral tree here. That is, I invited this person and they invited this one. These are all partners in my network, but people from higher level sponsors cannot end up here, right? So this is excluded. Here, it's only your network, your efforts, yes, us, the work you put in for these partners to appear. By the way, I forgot to mention one more thing here. In classic marketing, that is, when we calculate the bonus for repeat purchases, there is a compression system. That is, we say that, for example, we have 9 generations, and we receive 5% from each of the 9 generations. And we mentioned that in order to receive this reward on the 250 and 500 packages, you need to maintain an activity of 30 PI. So, and if, for example, this person didn't buy anything this month, and this person also didn't buy anything this month, can that happen? Well, of course it can happen. Then these 2 people will not be counted in the line. That is my first line for marketing calculation, specifically for the repeat purchase bonus, will be this one. This person will be my second line. Then if this person, for example, again didn't buy anything, the system will skip and compensate for them. And this will be my 3rd person. That is, the system looks for 9 active generations of people who made some purchase from whom you can receive a reward. I think it's very fair from the company's perspective that the company doesn't cut these things off. It compensates for them. And the system actually looks for 9 people who made some physical purchases this month. And from these rewards, you will go receive a payment. Did I answer your question? If I did, then great. If not, please ask again. Maybe some clarifications are needed?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, I'm being reminded here. Talk about compression. Yes, I was just reminded. Thank you. I talked about compression. Okay. Then if there are no questions here, either you're shy or I explained it clearly. Well, I don't know. It can't be that I explained it and everyone understood everything. Although, well, maybe. Very good. So I see that, Anna, you raised your hand. Please ask your question. I turned on your... wait, no. Oh my, Anna, please raise your hand again. Unfortunately, I missed you there. Okay. Yes, just a second. Anna, you can turn on your microphone. We are listening to you.
Hello, Ilnur. Thank you. Very interesting information. You mentioned that there are 9 generations and all the higher ups will receive 5%. Is that correct? Do all of them need to do a 30 PI activation?
Yes. Well, if they have a package of 500 or 250, yes, they need to do the activation. If they have a package of 2,000, then according to the promotion conditions, now they don't even need to do the activation yet.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, good. So, Natalia, let me turn on your microphone. Yes, you can ask your question. Guys, I just have one request. Let's be very active, yes. We still have quite a large part left to go through. So, Natalia, I gave you the organizer role. You didn't use it. I don't know why, but okay. Then...
I turned on the sound.
now I can hear everything. Yes, please.
Natalia from Novosibirsk, you drew that second diagram about these generations. But on a regular diagram, show how it will look, these generations. It's unclear, you understand? Because it turns out we invite one after another how these generations are structured.
Let me try to explain it this way. Look, tra-ta-ta-ta-ta. Let's take some color. Which one do you like? Let's go with blue. Look, here you are, and you invited your first partner. Here he is in your binary tree. He stands somewhere here. Yes, your first partner.
All right.
And he is automatically duplicated in your first line. So here he is, the first partner. Next, you invited a second person, but placed him, let's say, in the right team.
All right.
And here he stands right here.
The first line.
So this is your first line. First line, right? Next, you have a E, third person. And let's say this is him. Yes, your third person. But it doesn't matter which generation he is in the binary. In the binary, he might be in the 200th generation, but in the classic tree, it's still your first generation, right? So your third person, then this first person invited, let's say, this partner, yes, who is at 2000. So this is his first generation. For you, it's the second. Is that clear? So it doesn't matter how they are positioned in the binary. The classic tree is automatically a tree that places partners according to recommendations and the people who accordingly invited them. All right, thank you for the question. So
now it's clear. So it turns out that the second generation is the invitees of our invitees.
Exactly right. Yes. So Fatima, I'm enabling the option for you. Please ask your question.
Good evening. Ilnur, I wanted to know about the compression you mentioned. If he didn't make a purchase of 30 this month, but he does next month, then the higher sponsor will receive, right? A 5% commission from them?
Yes, compression works every month. That is, the system calculates the entire month, and on the 29th, it issues the reward. So if there were partners this month who did not make a repeat purchase, the system compensates for them. If in the next month they made a repeat purchase, bought something for 30, say PV, then yes, they participate this month as a specific generation, as a new level. Yes, exactly right.
Thank you.
Okay. So guys, I will be calling you back, yes, and releasing your hands so I can see everyone else. So next, Gulshat. Yes, let's get you set up with the co-organizer. Ask your question. Gulshat, if you want to ask a question, now is the time. If not, we will move on to the next participant. Ala. Okay. Yes, Gulshat. Can you hear us?
Good evening. It's probably not Gulshat, but Gulnara.
Gulnara, yes. I apologize. I have it minimized to half the screen, so the full name isn't visible. All right?
Can you scroll down a bit? Good evening. How are you doing? Very clear and understandable. But I have a question. Look, scroll down a bit more.
More? There's no more room to scroll down.
Oh, no, the other way. Scroll up.
All right.
Look, I probably have a question. I've gone too far.
Go ahead.
About the statuses. You said that an ambassador should have 2 global directors in different branches. So we have right and left. But it can be on one side, but in different branches. Did I understand correctly?
Yes. Oh, that's a good question. I'll answer it a bit more broadly, if you don't mind. But thank you for the question. It's spot on. Look, friends, this is a great perk of our marketing plan, right? So I'll try to do it in such a way that let me draw 2 trees again, because this question is very good. It's tricky. There are details. Look, here we have a binary tree. And let's say we have a person on the left and on the right. Guys, I'm drawing on the computer. I'm quite the artist, of course. Sorry, it's a bit crooked, but oh well. I hope it's more or less clear. And here we have a binary tree, and our team is structured on the left, on the right, and so on. And we have a classic tree, right? The one we just drew. The first line of partners, they have their own teams, and so on. And when we say that, for example, there should be a turnover, one strong branch, right? For instance, this one should generate 5,000 PV, and collectively all the others should also generate 5,000 PV. This can even be in one country, according to the binary. That is, for example, you invited partner number 1, and he, with his team, here's his team. Yes, his team is developing here and so on. And he, with his entire team, generated a turnover of $5,000. And you have, for instance, in the same country, Another partner, yes, number 2. And he, with his team, also generated a turnover of 5,000. It doesn't matter that they are in the same country in the binary, on the left or right, because in the classic tree, this will be one partner. And this, well, accordingly, the second, or all the others. They can even be in the same place in the binary. And this is a very big advantage of our marketing plan. Why? Because in a binary marketing plan, it often happens that one team or one branch grows very rapidly with colossal growth, just such a turnover, a huge team. And at the same time, as a leader, as a sponsor, you have to interact with this team, work with them, conduct training. And what's the point here? That we have accounted for this in the marketing plan. Firstly, despite having one large branch, you can achieve absolutely any company qualification with just that one branch. We have a good example. One of the directors today, Narter Sinova. I'm just giving an example because it was very clearly expressed in her case. So she came, and it just so happened that she placed one person, then a second, third, and fourth in one direction. And most of these people got involved, and there was a significant turnover. And she advanced in qualifications, even though the majority, well, the lion's share of the turnover was in one country. So you can achieve very high qualifications with the turnover from one country. Yes, you will receive less from steps, less from binaries with such an arrangement, but nevertheless, as they say, you won't be left without bread because the qualification bonuses will still pull you up. And now, returning to your question, if you want to achieve ambassador or global director status, yes, you might have this partner ambassador, and I don't know, somewhere in the 100th generation from another person, from this one. Yes, another ambassador has grown. That's it. For you, these are two different branches according to the classic model. It doesn't matter that in the binary they are in the same country. According to the classic model, these are different branches. The condition is met. You accordingly also become, in this case, if these are two globals, you become an ambassador. Gulnara, did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you. You did. This question always puzzled me. I understand now.
All right, it won't bother you anymore. Yes, thank you for the question. You asked it. Very timely because I missed that point. Allah. Please turn on your microphone. Go ahead. And ask your question too.
Yes, hello. So you partially just answered my question, but there's this little nuance, right? Let's say on the left side, well, take a director, 5,000 on the right, 5,000. And if, for example, on the left, I don't know, 7,000 to 8,000, and in the other branch, 2,000 to 3,000. So does this also count towards the director or not?
All right, I understand what the question is about. Just not left and right, because when we talk about qualification, it's simply different branches, one branch and all the others. And the question is, Allah, that there is one strong branch, which made 8,000 in turnover. And there are all the other branches, which collectively made 2,000 there. PV, exactly, yes. Will you be awarded the director qualification?
Director, for example?
No, you won't be awarded because there must be a condition. And what is the condition in the company?
I get everything.
5,001, 5,000 all the others combined. Yes, that's all correct. Okay, good. All right, let's move on. Natalia, please turn on your microphone. We're listening to you.
Hello.
Ilnur, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Ilnur, I'm confused about the binary. I thought there was a case when $20 are credited for the binary and sometimes 40. So where? How to understand the difference? Now you say that the binary is credited when it is considered. Upon the appearance of a partner in some small branch, what turnover is taken into account? The entire previous one or which one? To credit the binary.
Just this second part of your question threw me off because I simply didn't understand it. In what case?
Exactly. We don't understand, and many partners don't understand. That's why there's always the question, where does the binary come from? I can't explain it, honestly. For those particularly gifted, it's better to ask a dumb question than to sit quietly with a smart look.
You're doing absolutely right. Then for people who have these questions, and I think there will be many, we will draw everything again. But specifically for this question, I will draw several examples. Look, here we have a tree. Yes, initially it's empty. And we have a partner on the left. Then another partner. And another partner. And it goes on, right? We'll do the same on the right. I will now answer your question a bit more broadly. I'll just rephrase your question to make it even clearer.
Yes, yes.
From these partners we receive. Step rewards, right? That is because a step is each new partner at a new level. That is, a new level opened, new partners appeared. We received steps from here, steps from here, steps from here, steps from here, from here, from here. Further partners can appear with our clients or our entrepreneurs. For example, here, 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 here. A partner came here. The same thing happens there, here. I am deliberately drawing it crookedly to disrupt this logic for you. It shouldn't be proportional. The system doesn't look at proportion, specifically the geometry. It calculates numbers. And we receive 10% from the smallest of turnover, from the turnover of the smallest country. But what is considered the smallest? That co-country? These are all partners, the entire turnover, except for the partners from whom we received payments steps. So this is no longer considered in the turnover. This entire remaining setup will be considered. Yes, all of this.
So only those from whom we should receive the binary are considered excluding steps, or what?
Yes. So we exclude steps in principle. This is not included in the turnover of the smallest country. We only take the binary turnover, that is, the step turnover goes under the step. Now, I will further expand your, question, because there is also a subsystem here that may raise questions in the future. Let's discuss it right away. It may happen that this partner, that is this, we have reached the end of this level. Yes, the last one, I will underline that this is the last level. And that is by the numbers, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Here we currently have a turnover of 2,500, right? If it's 500 each, I'm just calculating evenly.
Okay.
Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 partners. So here our turnover is 2,000 PV.
Okay. Oh.
And this partner here, he does the registration. Oh, we've delved deep now, but here's an important point. It also needs to be understood. And this partner does the registration. That is, on this side, it was like 2 became 2.5, it was less. So from these $500, I should be paid a binary, right? Well, that's the question most often. No, the binary will not be paid from this partner. Why? Let me explain. Because this partner, this turnover, it will be frozen by the system in order to pay the step reward. That is, the step takes into account the first partner in the longest branch. Just when we draw in marketing, yes, the far right, the far left. In the system, it doesn't matter whether it's the farthest or not. In the system, what matters is that it's the deepest partner, in the longest branch, right? And then, let's say a partner also appears here with 500. And that's it. The system pays you 50%. That is, once again, the system doesn't care if it has to be some kind of tree maintaining geometry, like isosceles triangles. It doesn't matter. The system looks for, a new level has appeared here, a new level there. All okay. You get a step. Then here, the next day or the same day after you receive the step, someone from the partners registers here, right? For $500. That's it. Then this partner will already go into the binary. Why? Because the step has already been paid from this level. Accordingly, here you get an additional 500. In total, there was a reserve of 2,500 here. Everything leveled out here, and you got 50% from $500, which was accordingly paid out. Did I answer clearly?
Yes, it's clear.
Good.
At first, it sounded to me like you were talking about the entire turnover, and it was unclear whether, for example, 500 is added to the existing network turnover. And here, it wasn't clear how. But now I understand that the binary is calculated from the turnover that is added, right? So 500 or 2,000 or 250, right?
I just don't quite understand what exactly you want to hear. Look, let's go over this again. Steps in turnover. Jag står på...
Ilnor. Sorry, I'll interrupt. Look, there's a professional nuance here. You need to work individually with the person here because they might create, well, problems in others' minds. Natalia, if you want to understand, you need to have an individual conversation with a mentor and sketch it out.
We've gone too deep, very deep. You need to see the system clearly there.
Yes.
I'm just deeply interested in everything and,
No. My dear ones, Natalia, when you invite 50 people into the system, as you start placing them, you'll gain understanding. No one teaches 10th grade material in the first grade. Therefore, if you are a beginner, you need to place the first 10 people into the system, and then you will have practical understanding. Right now, you are discussing theory and possibilities, which may or may not happen. Every situation in the marketing plan or every arrangement is unique. So with you,
they are already placed, people. I am already at the director qualification. I already have a director, and it wasn't me who placed these people. It was my mentor who did it for me. That's the point. Now I want to figure it out myself and continue doing it on my own. That's all.
Natalia, look, what is the simplest way to figure it out? In your personal account, there is an item called difference between the large and small branches. You click there.
Yes, I know it.
The turnover of the left and right teams is shown, right? Accordingly, it shows which team is smaller, with the lowest turnover, from which you will receive, accordingly, 10% of the turnover. Okay? Answering your question, where do the 20% come from? Most likely, you received a binary from a registered person's package of 250. And regarding, once again, about the turnovers, guys, the longest turnover, it gets frozen in the stab, and it's the longest. It can go like this, you understand, right? And this will be frozen as a stab reward because this branch is the longest. Then all of this will go into the binary to make it easier. And not overthink to get the stab. You look at the recommendation tree in the binary, where it's the longest. To get the binary, you check the difference between the left and the right. Sides, the balance, yes, and look where. The turnover is the smallest. From the registration in this team, you will always receive binary rewards. But again, to analyze the specific situation, you need to see the personal account well, to look at the specific situation directly. All right?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, for the question. So let's, Elena, we have 2 more questions left and then we'll move on. Guys, let's try to be very quick. We still have a good section ahead. Elena, go ahead. The microphone. Ask your questions and we'll move on.
Good evening. I have a question about the correctness probably of conducting. Look, if a mentor places their people under, well, like in a binary on the second level, under people, under existing partners that were placed, and then enters the partner's account and takes this reward. Is this behavior of the mentor appropriate?
I have a question. For this partner whose money was taken, well, I'll ask a different question. Do all of you probably have mobile banking apps? Do you give your password to everyone?
No, it's just that when the mentor registered, she herself left.
Go into your personal account and change the password. There is a function, change. The password, change the payment incoming password. Guys, if your password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's not our issue.
It's just that when the mentor motivates this and sort of from the director level motivates it, saying these are my people and this is my income and therefore I should take it. Do you understand how? That's something completely different.
Guys, these are personal relationships between 2 people, the mentor. It's hard for me to say.
It's incorrect.
In my opinion, it's wrong. But again, every situation, it can be there.
In mine too, yes.
Conditioned. Therefore.
My money is in my account, right?
Yes, but yes.
Ilnur, please, another block of announcements. Answer questions regarding the marketing plan. This does not relate to the marketing plan. Skip, ignore, please, the questions, or you won't deliver the material. Continue, please.
Guys, we will deliver everything. We might just take a bit longer, but it's important that we have a recording with lots of good questions. And we will go through all these questions. Vadim, we're waiting for your last question and then we'll move on. Turn on the microphone, I'll answer it, and we'll get going. Andre, in the meantime, please check the chat to see if there are any questions worth answering. If not, we'll move on. Vadim, the microphone. And let's go. All right. Vadim might have stepped away, so we might not hear his question today.
Please continue. Just keep going.
All right, guys, let's move on then. Look, so we've covered the basic part of the marketing plan. This is what we've come up with. And next, I would like to share with you how we work with the marketing plan. Because once again, there are different partners. And when I see that partners, meaning everyone has the same marketing plan, but partners interact with the marketing plan differently, and this significantly affects the amount of money we can earn here in one way or another. There is already practical experience. That is, guys, I've been working with this marketing for 2 years now, going hand in hand with it, and I believe I'm extracting money from it quite well. And I would like to pass this skill on to you, because there are a number of classic mistakes that are better avoided. That's the first thing. And secondly, there are a few tricks that are better to implement. And if you do them well, if you understand these tricks now and can apply them, it means you will simply be more effective in earning money in the marketing plan. You may have heard of the concept called the golden triangle. Someone might have told you about it, or you just haven't figured out its advantage. So I would like to shed some light on this story for you. They talk about the golden triangle or 3 accounts, and in our marketing plan, this solution is relevant and very useful. Look, here's what it's about. There is an opportunity in our company to register 3 accounts under your name. That is, for example, it's me. My first account, my second account, and my third account. And all these 3 accounts belong to me. So it says Aysuluf Ilnur. Aysuluf Ilnur in the second account, Aysuluf Ilnur in the third account, and so on. That is, they only have different logins, all the data, my phone, my address, and so on. Always keep everything inside your own. It belongs to you, and so on. And when you create such a triangle that is a golden triangle, you actually solve several tasks. I would like to highlight these tasks because not everyone sees them. Look, the first thing you solve here, yes, for the future, look, you start to set up work and do all the registrations only from these 2 lower accounts of yours. As for the second, and well, you practically never touch the first higher account again, with a few exceptions. And let's say you registered 1 person, a second, the same thing happens on the right side, then again on the right, then again on the right, and so on, and so on. A large business started, and this team developed very strongly. This team developed very strongly, and you have another new person. And in this case, you can look, for example, at which turnover from these accounts is less, for instance, this one. And you can place the next person right here. Yes, your new partner. What will this give you? You will receive a step on this account, right? And this account will also receive a binary. That is, from the same registration, from the same action, you receive 2 different types of rewards. Is that clear? And 2 types of rewards from 1 registration are better than 1. I think you understand this. Then imagine you have a team starting here as well. People begin to work. Registrations start coming in. And with each such registration, you receive a step on 1 account, a binary on another account, a step on 1 account, a binary on another account. And that's really great. But the only thing is, if you do this or decide to do it, under no circumstances should you start registering in 4 lines at once. That is 1 here, 1 here, 1 here to immediately get a step here, and a binary here. Under no circumstances should you do that. If you want to work correctly with the golden triangle, you first develop the outer left leg and the outer right leg. Do not get involved in the inner legs for at least 6 months. And guys, I'm telling you this from the perspective of extensive experience in binary marketing. I didn't allow myself to get into the inner legs for the first 6 months. Really. Moreover, I sometimes see I have people there now. I have 10 people coming right now. That means nothing at all. 10 people is nothing even for the outer sides. First, launch 1 left side, 1 right side. If great regional or national leaders start to appear there, then it might make sense in the future to consider working on the inner legs, but definitely not right away. If you create this kind of setup, you have a triangle, right? And you start registering 1 here, 1 there, 1 here, 1 there. Yes, in order to immediately take a step here and a step there, and also immediately take 2 binaries here. 95% in of you will not have money in this business. You won't see this money, well, right at the start of the first registration. Yes, you will earn more, but in the long run, your business will collapse. Why? Why is it necessary to build one side? Well, first the outer legs. Because every time you place one person under your team, you help the entire line, you give them stimulation, they can place one person opposite and immediately receive a step reward, right? And that's the logic. Why is binary marketing so popular? Because, as they say, there is team interaction and so on, precisely because there are people who may appear, not necessarily, but one way or another, they can appear. And you accordingly stimulate the entire team so that their checks grow, they earn money, and gain internal confidence. When a person starts working immediately in 4 lines, as a rule, they only solve their financial tasks for a week, 2, 3, a month, and then the person fizzles out because the motivation for the team, it's better to first create spillover for people so that they, as they say, there was a desire to place people opposite, right? But if we don't place this candle, so to speak, in the right spot, sometimes it doesn't shine. Therefore, first the outer legs, then we start building the inner ones. That is, the first thing the triangle does is give us the opportunity to earn 2 types of rewards from one action in the future. Second, I told you about classic marketing and that we receive a repeat purchase bonus of 5%, up to 9 generations. And these 5% can be practically turned into 10 with one simple move. If you have created a golden triangle for yourself, then your classic tree will also look different. There is you. And below you, there is you again, meaning your first account, your second account, your third account. And this means that, for example, your classic tree will look exactly like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the same goes for your partners here. Yes, well, obviously they have their own branches and so on, their own teams. And as soon as any of them makes a purchase, you receive 5% both here and on the upper account. Is that clear? So if a purchase of $100 is made on the first line, you receive $5 here, 5%, and $5 on the upper account. In this way, you can practically double your repeat purchase bonus. And this is done very simply with a simple registration of 2 additional accounts in your name. Yes, it's clear that for these accounts to receive these 5%, you need to be active, yes, or as I did. I just have all accounts on 2,000 packages. I did this right from the start. As soon as I joined the company, I immediately resolved this issue for myself. Yes, so as not to worry. And to receive the maximum types of rewards, yes, up to the maximum depth. Therefore, first, we say that the triangle helps us in the future to earn 2 types of rewards from 1 registration. Second, you can, thanks to the triangle, receive 2 types. 2 times 5%. That is, on your lower account, and plus 10% on the upper one. This, as you understand, is more than 5. This is also very cool. That is, today I know partners who receive $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 from the repeat purchase bonus. And they have triangles. If there were no triangle, instead of 10,000, a person could receive 5. What would you prefer, 5 or 10? I think the latter. This is the second thing that helps us create the golden triangle. And the third point. It is actually probably one of the most important reasons why the triangle is still recommended. That is, you have probably already noticed that the highest checks can be achieved when you reach high qualifications. Yes, there. National, international, you are already participating in pools, in the distribution of 1%. It's very interesting. And if you talk to leaders who are in high qualifications and ask how many accounts they have, I think each of them will say at least, 3. Most likely, everyone will say, I have 3 accounts. Why? Because there is, sort of a trick, yes, a perk, as we call it, in working with the golden triangle and in working with qualifications. I will also share it with you. Use it if you can. What does it consist of? Look here. Let me draw it. A classic example. There is you, and in your first line, let's say you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 partners. That is, it's not 10 partners, but rather 10 different branches. Is that clear? 1 branch, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and you have 10 such branches. And each of these branches, each made 20,000 PV turnover. So 10 branches have each done 20,000 PV in sales volume. Your total sales volume is $200,000 per month. Pee-wee, yes, in this place. I have a question for you. What is your qualification? That is 10 lines of 20,000 each. What is your qualification according to what we have outlined here? And here many say, 200,000, 100 by 100. Someone says continental mini qualification. Oh, by the way, friends, please write in the chat what qualification you think it is. So you have turnovers of 5 by 5, 10, 10, 30, 30, 50, 50, 100, 100, 200, 200. And here is your story. Yes, you have 10 teams in your first line with a turnover of 10,000. Oh, 20,000 per month. That's it. Someone writes director, someone regional, someone counted continental, and so on and so on. In general, there are correct answers, but very many incorrect ones. Your qualification is regional director. That is, even though you have a turnover of 200,000, according to this example, you will be in the qualification of regional director. Let me explain why. In order to qualify as international, national, or continental, you must have one branch with 30, 50, or 100,000. And you don't have them. You have 10 branches with 20 each. But who cares? Because one branch must be 30. So you are in the qualification of regional director. Is it clear? Why? Now I will do the same, but with this example, when you have a golden triangle, meaning you have 5 people here with 20,000 each. That is, it's 100,000, yes, in turnover. And on the right side, also 5 people with 20,000 in turnover each. So the same 10 as here, yes, but they are distributed in a triangle. So in total, you also have 200,000, but you have 100,000 accumulated under one account and another 100,000 accumulated under the second account. Accordingly, 100,000 on this account, 100,000 on that account. Attention question. What is the qualification of your first topmost account? Continental. Exactly right. Once again, with the same numbers, that is, you have a total, I drew an example, 10 people both here and there in the first and second example. And in both cases, all teams have the same turnover. But in one case, you can be a regional director. Is that good? Well, of course it's good, but not with such a turnover, guys. And in the other example, you can already be a continental director, which you'll agree is much more interesting because the income there is significantly higher. Next, since you have 5 partners with 20,000 on this account and 5 partners with 20,000 on that account, this means that these partners, at the very least, these accounts, are regional directors at a minimum. So here you are a continental director, a really cool guy or gal, well, hypothetically, and here you are regional directors on the lower accounts. And this means that every month you get an additional $200 to the travel fund here. And every month, $200 are added to the travel fund here. And another $200 to the travel fund here. Therefore, when you see some of our partners going on a trip and taking their husband with them, we have many such cases, or taking their wife, or taking their children. And all these trips are sometimes completely free. I really liked it. We recently had an example. They even used a promotion there. Yes, a partner from Astana, Mustafieva. She did a promotion on the triangles, completed it plus the travel fund, and took her child and husband, went on a trip to China. A cruise, South Korea, Japan. Would you like to take your family on such a free vacation? Of course, every month, $600. And in half a year, you've saved up a reasonable amount, took your husband or child and went on a vacation. We have a lot of children traveling with us, and it's a really great opportunity. So the triangle solves several tasks. First, it's an opportunity to earn well in the future. Yes, with the help of internal legs. Once again, let me remind you, guys, please listen. Don't get involved before 6 months have passed. Really. Just set this understanding for yourself. I understand that you want to, your hands are itching to get an extra step. You want to. But from a strategic point of view, this is extremely wrong. Second, the golden triangle helps you earn 5% on the lower and upper account. That is, you receive more bonuses from repeat purchases. Third, the golden triangle helps, simplifies the closing of High qualifications among others. And qualifications, again, I share this with you from practice, not theory. If you take the checks of major leaders, well, 40 to 50% of their income is income exclusively from qualifications. These are not steps. These are not binaries. This is exclusively what the guys earn from leadership bonuses. Therefore, closing qualifications according to our marketing plan is very important. Very important, because there is very good money, very good bonuses. I have just told you how, in practice, these qualifications are easier to close. Can you work with just one account? Yes, of course you can, guys, no problem. I'm simply telling you the basic part and showing you the setup, what else can be done in order to A, not violate the conditions set by the company, B, maximize the benefits from it. Once again, our task is, we came into this business to make money. To make money, we need to generate turnover. We are doing this with you, but these turnovers also need to be properly distributed according to the marketing plan, right? If you do this correctly, follow the recommendations that you might have heard from me today, what your mentors, leaders say, or maybe from other trainings you watch, you will simply be more effective at, as I call it, extracting money from the marketing plan. Why exactly extract? Look, you understand that a certain amount of money is already embedded in the marketing plan, which the company is ready to give out as payments to distributors. And the company tells us, guys, receive this much, this much, this much from each type of the marketing plan. And we're like, no, I don't need it. 5% is enough for me. Or the company tells us, guys, you can qualify and receive leadership bonuses. And we're like, no, we don't need that. We'll close it sometime later. Why? Guys, come on. The company is giving us this opportunity. Let's take it and use it to the fullest, as I call it, right? Because when you earn good money, you can afford more for yourself, your family, your children, maybe education, healthcare, travel more, and so on. You can afford more. But this opportunity truly opens up. It opens up wonderfully when you have a 2,000 package, and when you start achieving high qualifications, then you will, as they say, breathe with a new breath. Yes, your lungs will open up fully, and you will be able to start experiencing all of this.